Welcome back to the show. This is Good Morning Bangalore. Now, in the studios with me is some wonderful, wonderful folks. Good morning, first of all.
Good morning. Good morning.
Now, the Bangalore School of Music and Finance in association with Evolve Back Resorts presents the Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart Requiem Piano Concerto in number 12 in A major. And in the studios right now is Bengt Forsberg, who is a Grammy winner. Welcome to the studios of Radio 1.
Thank you. I'm Grammy winner. That's right. Thank you for reminding me.
Maria Forsström is the conductor of the entire thing. Welcome to the studios.
Thank you.
And the choir director, Jonas Olsen. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Now, this is happening on the 19th of January at the Chatham Memorial Hall. Tell me more about this entire, tribute to Mozart of sorts. Anyone can take this question.
Well, it's a celebration of the great work Mozart Requiem, which is a timeless piece that speaks to all people all over the world, all generations, about the eternal themes of love, death, and how we humans should be in order to transcend to the world beyond. It speaks to us all. And it's fantastic to be able to do it in Bangalore with Jonas' amazing choirs, the Bangalore Men and the Capella Bangalore.
They're all involved in this entire, amazing process as well as this concert. You're playing the piano and the organ for this, right?
Yes. In the Requiem I play the organ part. That is not not at all a solo part, but it's contributing to the sound of the orchestra. But I also play the 12th piano concerto, as you said. It's a fairly very light piece, a happy piece with some great depth sometimes. But it's a wonderful counterpoint to the Requiem in its very spiritual language sometimes, and it's furthermore it's written for string orchestra, piano and string orchestra, and the Requiem is performed here in a version for just string orchestra instead of the normal bigger orchestra with winds and things like that.
Right.
So it's one of the 4 concertos by Mozart which are possible to play with string orchestra.
Could you share some, insights into the rehearsal process and maybe some anecdotes that happened in the process of the rehearsals that happened recently?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have been rehearsing with the choirs since, when did we start? Maybe in July. I think we started practicing for this. And, it's written for 4-part choir, which basically means it's soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. And I don't know about anecdotes, but I think that what has been interesting during the process is, the ability to move on from just rehearsing and reading notes to actually doing music. I mean, this happened to us the last 2 weeks ago. We had a rehearsal at St. Andrew's Church Hall where we usually rehearse. And suddenly the music, took off from the paper. Suddenly we felt the music rather than just reading it and rather than just reading the notes. Suddenly we could feel the music, and afterwards everyone was quite emotionally touched, right? And suddenly we have achieved a different level. And I think that you reach that level when you are so confident in what you do that you can actually let go of the music and let your music not only go through your brain but also through your heart, right? So that was quite an emotional and great experience, I think, for the choirs.
Amazing. They say that music is all about emotion.
Yeah.
It's not about the notes per se. It's about the emotion through the notes, right?
I think it's both, to be honest. I think that you cannot call a great performance a performance where you just play anything you want, even if you do it with a great heart. But I think that once you have mastered something, then you can allow yourself to become emotional and let the music take off the paper,
Lovely. Now, approaching Mozart's Requiem, Maria, I want to ask you, how do you bring your own interpretation to staying true to the historical context of the composition?
Well, I suppose my personality will shine through because I, as everyone else, am a unique person. It means that I will use my vocabulary when I work with an orchestra, when I work with a choir. I have my ways of instructing and making everybody charged with energy. I have a certain way that I use. That's in the same way that different people talk in different ways. I will do it in my way. I'm especially fond of actually looking at the score to see what can we highlight in terms of energy, high points and low points. It is said that my performances are quite explosive at times because it's possible, and I love working with large groups and making them feel that it is possible, and there is actually no limit if you step out of your own brain and allow yourself outside your comfort zone, so to say.
It really opens up everything, right?
Yes, I love to charge people, and I love to charge the audience with the same energy and emotions.
Right.
I want them to feel touched by this divine flame from inside, and I want them to carry that home.
And it's quite a physical feeling.
Yes,
you know?
it is. It's
It
very
hits you physically.
It hits you physically.
You know, you
Yes,
don't
it
just
does.
listen with your
No.
ears. You feel it.
Taken back.
Mm.
Oh,
Yes.
this
Yes.
richness.
Yes.
You can't sit and listen to this music relaxed too much.
This is a very
and half
soul-touching music,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Now, when you approach Mozart's Piano Concerto Number 12 in A major, what do you find particularly intriguing in this process?
Well, it's not. The Requiem is in D minor, and it's a very emotional in a sometimes even tragic way. He uses D minor, the key D minor, when he has something very urgent and important to say. And it says that this Requiem was requested by a secret benevolent person who they don't know, and this is one of the absolutely last pieces by Mozart, and it's completed by someone else.
Right.
Because he died.
Right.
The piano concerto is much earlier, and it's outgoing, happy, but also much going inwards. Actually, it's not Olympic brilliant piece in that sense, because that would not have been so at a good counterpart to the Requiem, I think. So this is a quite intimate, very personal, of course. It's Mozart.
Right.
and it's very, very rich and very quite emotional sometimes in a different way than the Requiem.
Right. So what can we expect on the 19th, from this amazing performance? What can we expect?
We can expect to be uplifted, because the piano concerto is uplifting. It's easy listening, and for all people who perhaps not have been at a Western classical music concert before, this is actually the perfect occasion to start to know more about Western classical. It's one of the greatest composers that ever lived, and it's uplifting, and it touches your soul, and you don't need to know theory or history about this music. You will just have this huge wave to surge of music just flow over you.
There could be a danger with Mozart's music sometimes, at least some of it, that it sounds naive and just playing around for a while and that's it. It's not like that.
No.
This is so rich and almost introvert sometimes, as well as very, very happy.
Right.
And it hits you down in your body, in your brain, in your mind. You cannot escape from it.
Right.
And when it's sometimes the music is happy, as I said, and it suddenly he reveals something avgrund,
Depths.
abyss, depths coming suddenly without you knowing. It just happens.
Hits you somewhere, right?
And
It hits you.
and and then it's over again, and it's back to the happy. Well, it's
It's a
very
journey altogether.
breathtaking,
So on
actually.
19th, we can expect like a whole journey of emotions.
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
I
the
think you're-
audience that comes
No, they
You just
They
you
will
have to be
change.
open to it.
Yeah,
That's
the audience
all-
will change. They will not be the same when they exit the hall afterwards.
Oh my God, this is going to be an experience to remember. I cannot wait for
Yes.
this. I'm going to be there for sure. Definitely going
Great.
to come in and
You'll be
enjoy
there.
this.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
for
good.
sure, for
Nice,
sure.
nice.
My next question is on the 12th, something else is happening, right?
Yes.
Which is your concert, if I'm not wrong.
It's my concert.
Bent?
Yes.
12th, okay.
Yes. Tell me more about that. What's happening on the 12th?
Ooh, yeah, I have chosen a few of the Western classical music's grand names. Not because they are grand, but because they mean a lot to me. Beethoven, Schubert, Schumann, Debussy, and maybe also a couple of Nordic composers like Grieg, Sibelius, and Stenhammar. If we have time, I think I have only around fairly an hour to play, and well, music that is emotionally very giving out so much and meaning a lot to me, and I hope that the audience will be touched and moved by it. That's all I hope for.
So this is happening on the 12th, 6 p.m. onwards, right? At the
That's right,
Aruna
yeah.
Sundarlal Auditorium in Bangalore City.
Yes.
Free entry.
Yes.
Right? Amazing. Now, my other question I want to ask you is, we see a lot of new music coming up nowadays, different genres as well. Do you see people moving into Western classical again, or do you see like more people getting there or less people getting into the whole space of
I
Western
mean, if we
classical?
talk about Bangalore particularly, then, I mean, as you perhaps also know, then that there isn't much of a Western classical music scene in the city, given the fact that we don't have the natural venues for it. We are, perhaps also sometimes lacking a bit of teaching facilities, instruments, etc. But what I find very important, is, especially in the work that we do with the choirs, is to preserve this, sounding heritage, right? This is a heritage that we need to keep performing in order for it to not die and go away, right? And I think that every concert that we do, and we do around 10 concerts per year with the choirs, every concert that we do, there is always new faces in the audience. There is always a growing interest. And I think that, if we after a concert have 3-4 people go home and Google about, I don't know, Vivaldi or Mozart or Beethoven or whatever, then I think that you have taken one small step into preserving this heritage, right? So it's not just about performing for an audience and they will clap and think it's lovely and the choir feel that they have sung very well, but it's also to preserve this heritage. And by doing so, I think that you actually enables the interest to grow, So
Right.
I think that we are on a good journey here,
I hope this concert that happens on 19th and the 12th as well inspires more people to get into this space, because it's a beautiful...
I hope so too. And I mean, it's quite fun, right? Because every time we do a concert, like we did our Christmas concerts now at the Bangalore International Center in December, you always see this surge on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
Can we audition? Can we join? Etc. Which proves that there are people that are interested.
Ooh, there's a
But-
great interest
But
here.
perhaps they are not just exposed. Perhaps they don't know where to go. Perhaps they don't know who to reach out to, right? So I think it's also about showcasing that we actually do these things to give people a platform to start learning and performing, etc. Right?
Yeah, and music is so much more. When you learn an instrument, you learn more about yourself as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You learn more about yourself. You learn more about self-discipline. You learn more about unlearning certain habits, perhaps,
Yes.
and you force yourself to become much more exposed and oriented. So yeah, only benefits.
Only benefits, only cons are you're constantly working. That's basically it, I would say, right? In your head,
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, I think that it's important to realize that it's not something you will not become an accomplished musician by clearing grade 5 of a BSM. You will not be an accomplished musician overnight, right?
Right.
I'm looking here at Maria and Bengt, who have been hard-working musicians for 20, 30, 40 years. This is what it takes,
Yeah.
right? And
50 years in
50
my
years,
case.
sorry. I was trying to be kind. But it's also about the fact that our world today is so focused on instant success, instant feedback, instant likes, thumbs ups, hearts, etc., right? Music is not like that.
Right.
You have to really put your heart and your brain and your soul into it if you want to succeed.
Music is slow art.
Slow art.
It is slow
Yes.
art.
And as my 50 years of experience and more has to explode into 3, 4, 5 minutes of
Yeah.
music making instant. That has to be instant, and hopefully go right into the heart of the listener.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will.
I'm not sure. I don't know the tricks to make people cry, but I do my best.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm going to be moved to tears on the 19th, definitely. On the 15th, one more amazing is happening at the BIC Bangalore International Center, which is the Portraits of Perspectives of Women in Music, which you're going to be taking over, Maria. Tell me more about this. What's going to happen on the 15th?
Well, we will be presenting a song program with the feminist women's perspective in music, and not just female composers, but also we are describing, for example, one of the greatest portraits of music in music ever written of a woman is actually composed by a man, the great Robert Schumann. He was the husband of the pianist Clara Schumann. And it's the Frauenliebe und Lebe, and it's a song cycle. Is it 9 songs? No, more than that.
8 or
9?
9, maybe.
Yeah. And the text was written by an elderly gentleman, a French aristocrat, and that is very far away from what we might believe, how to imagine the woman's mindset and so on. And that is the most subtle portrait written, because it's written in, it's like the woman's self is speaking. It's I speaking through the text. She is talking about herself, but the text is written by a man. And it's so delicate. It's not a weak music at all. It's extremely powerful.
Very powerful.
But versatile. And
Sensitive.
we want to celebrate these great female composers like Clara Schumann, like the sister of Felix Mendelssohn. Her name was Fanny Hensel Mendelssohn. You will be playing
Cécile Chaminade.
Yes.
She was a French woman, very, very popular in her times. She had fan clubs all over the world and wrote songs and piano music mainly of a light nature, but never vad heter det? Vad säger man? Ytligt, not shallow at all. It's great finesse. Or superficial. And I play a piece called Thème varié, as it's a varied theme. It's a theme coming back and varied a little and quite short. It's very charming and very personal.
Right.
And we do also an English woman, wonderful, Rebecca Clark. One of the great English composers, I would say, of also very tough music. There is a piano trio, for instance, where it reflects her experiences of the First World War in a very tough, romantic, modern language. And she was something very special.
Superb. So it's going to happen on the 15th, on Monday.
Yes, and it's important to point out that female composers are not writing music to reflect their own, perhaps, smaller world. They are free to compose over and talk about whatever they like to talk about in music, the same way as male composers always done. They are supposed to tell their own stories. So we want to celebrate that world of stories by female composers as well.
Amazing, amazing. So for all you enthusiasts out there, Friday you have one amazing thing happening at the Aruna Sundarlal Auditorium. On Monday at the BIC in Bangalore, you can check out this wonderful Portraits of Her Perspective of Women in Music. And of course, on the 19th at the Chade Memorial Hall, Mozart's Requiem in A Concerto Piano, right? This is going to be amazing. I can't wait to, catch all these amazing performances by all of you. Thank you once again for coming down to the studios and, thank you for bringing this back to Bangalore and really inspiring more people to get into Western classical music.
Thank you, Lee.
You're welcome.
Such
All
a
right.
joy. Thank
Perfect.
you.